In this video, we're going to start working with the block system in Drupal 8. We're going to talk a little bit about what blocks are, the different types of blocks that are available to us in Drupal 8, how to place those blocks, and how block regions work within Drupal 8, as they vary from theme to theme. Another very powerful feature of Drupal is its block system. Now, blocks are tiny little snippets of HTML code that we can place virtually anywhere on our website. If we look at the home page of our current installation, even though we haven't done anything to it at all yet, there are several blocks on this page. For example, this search bar here is actually a block, and so is this tools menu. Now, this actually shows two different types of blocks that are available within Drupal, one of which is a menu block, and the other of which is just a standard search block. So this menu here is typically a part of the theme of the website that you install, and it's hard-coded in, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. In this case, you can see that we've gone with a block for this one. This footer here is also a block region. So where are the blocks in our website? If we come up to structure here, we can come down to block layout. And this is going to take us to a page where we can organize, arrange, and add new blocks. We can also remove them from here. So for example, here is our main navigation block. We can actually specify this to not be in a content region, and if we were to save this page, our menu would disappear because it's no longer being placed on the page. That's not something we want to do because navigation is very important to a website. But what we can do from here is place different blocks in different places. So for example, in our second sidebar, we can place a block. Once we click that button, we're brought to a new screen that has all of the different types of blocks that we can add to our website. For example, we can add the page title to the sidebar again if we really wanted to do that. Or we can add different menus, a box for who's online, and virtually we can do anything that we want to do. The other very powerful thing about this block system is our ability to add custom blocks. If we click the Add Custom Blocks button at the top, we're brought to a page where we can just specify a block description here. So maybe we're going to create a small welcome message. So this would be called Welcome Message. And here in the body, we're just going to say Welcome to our site. Now this is not exactly an example that you would ever really be using, but this just shows off how the block system works. So we're going to save this. And now we're going to be brought to another page where we can add some restriction options here. We can choose to display or not display the title. We can restrict the visibility of this block to only certain content types. Now this will be really useful on news articles, for example, if we create a block that has the most recent 5 news articles on it. Well, we don't need that on the overview page or any of the other pages. We would just want that on article pages. We can restrict down to specific pages by using URLs or the global universal front item here, which will put things only on the front page. And we can either show them for the listed pages or hide them for the listed pages. You can also do this by role. So if you have a block that only your administrators can see, we can add that in there as well. And then the region here. Now this is going to be where it appears on the page. And like we said, we're going to put it in the sidebar second, and we're going to save that block. Going back to our site now, we will see this welcome message being displayed in our sidebar here. Now within this form, there's a lot of other things that we can do. We can demonstrate the block regions because they're going to be different depending on the theme that you install. There may be more, there may be less. Clicking on Demonstrate Block Regions is going to highlight for us all of the different regions that we can place blocks in on our website. For example, here we can see that this is where our sidebar second would appear. And you can see that there's some footer options as well. A well-built theme will have theme regions, block regions, that make sense and make it easy for you to develop your website. If we go back here, we can also create custom block types, much like we created custom content types. Now, this is a totally new feature to Drupal 8. This was not available in any other previous versions of Drupal. What you saw when we created our welcome message here was essentially what we had made available to us in Drupal 7, and that was it. Well, in Drupal 8, we can click this block types option here, and we can create custom block type options here. So much like we did with the content types, we can manage fields, and we can add all of those same fields that were made available to us in the content types to a block type. Now, this really becomes useful when you're developing, because sometimes you want to reuse a style of block, but you don't necessarily want to create a content type for it. This could be useful for like a homepage slideshow or something similar to that. You can just create a block type and reuse that block type to add items to your slideshow without these blocks needing to have a page on the website. In previous versions, I would always create a content type for a homepage slider, and then I would have to dive into my robots.txt file and make sure that Google was not scanning any of those homepage slider nodes so that they didn't show up in Google search results, because that's going to increase your bounce rate and people aren't going to find anything useful on there. It was simply for design. Well, now I don't have to worry about that. I can create a block type to accept an image and a link and a description field without having to have a URL specifically pointing to that page. Now, Views is going to be able to leverage these just like it would leverage nodes, and it really does increase the usability and development of our website. But that's a basic overview of the block system. Blocks can be anything from standard text to menus to contact forms, and virtually almost every other entity on a Drupal installation can be found and made available in blocks. In the next video, we're going to be taking a look at how to create contact forms in Drupal 8.